This is Minister Ramon Williams coming to you this live this Monday for our Monday Moments. On behalf of our pastor, Gregory Kennon, and our co-pastor, Sharonda Kennon, I want to thank you. Thank you for joining us live for our Monday Moments here at Fresh Start Church. I want to talk about a person in Black History Month that really impacted me and their life story, and it was Solomon Northup. A lot of you may know his story from the movie 12 Years a Slave. Well, he actually wrote a memoir about his experience as a slave and even some of the moments leading up to when he was enslaved or when he was taken into slavery. And I want to read very briefly the last passage or the last paragraph in that book. But to tell you his story, if you don't know, Solomon Northup was born a free man in New York, and he was a musician. And he went from New York to D.C. with some white men to play, and that was his assumption. But the men got him drunk, and they sold him into slavery. And that was the beginning of his 12 years as a slave before he eventually found his way out. And he talks about all of this in that book, in his memoir. But to read the last passage from his book, it reads as the following. My narrative is at an end. I have no comments to make upon the subject of slavery. Those who read this book may form their own opinions of this particular institution, of this peculiar institution. What it may be in other states, I do not profess to know. What it is in the region of Red River is truly and faithfully delineated in these pages. This is no fiction, no exaggeration. If I have failed in anything, it has been in presenting to the reader too prominently the bright side of the picture. I doubt not hundreds have been as fortunate as myself, that hundreds of free citizens have been kidnapped and sold into slavery, and at this moment, wearing out their lives on plantations in Texas and Louisiana. But I forbear. Chastened and subdued in spirit by the sufferings I have borne, and thankful to that good being through whose mercies I have been restored to happiness and liberty, I hope henceforth to lead an upright, though lowly life, and rest in the churchyard where my father sleeps. So this is Solomon Northup talking about his experience as a slave and thanking God that he was able to get out of captivity or out of slavery and be able to live his life normally again. And I want to encourage you as a believer that in Christ, you are free and that you are no longer in bondage to your slavery. You are no longer in bondage to the life of sin that you once were living in. But because of Christ and because of your faith in him, that you have been saved by grace through faith in Christ Jesus, that you can live a life where you are no longer bound and you are free. And I want to read what Paul says in Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. And it reads, Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. And I just want to encourage you today that we have been set free as believers in Christ. Just as much as Solomon Northup recognized his physical freedom from slavery, we have a spiritual freedom in Christ. And I want you to remember that upon today and be encouraged upon today and take this word with you as you go throughout your week. And I want you to be encouraged and I want you to be blessed. Remember, your new beginning starts at Fresh Start Church. I want to say thank you and God bless. Take care.